Hello, Gemini, and welcome to this, your mid to late March reading. This reading is intended for anybody born under the sign of Gemini, as well as anyone else who has a lot of Gemini in their charts. This reading is intended for the timing between March 15th and March 31st. But as we all know, when we're dealing with the ethereal realm, sometimes things move at a different rate on the ethereal side than they do here on the earthly side. So some of the timings may not line up, but just trust that what the cards are telling us will eventually come to pass. This is a general reading for all of the Geminis out there. There are an awful lot of you guys out there. So please, any advice that is in this reading, take it with a grain of salt. Please kindly go within yourself and make a choice from your own heart that is right for you. All right. So I'm going to be pulling 6 cards. It never ends up being 6 cards. It always ends up being more. But we're going to have a look at where you're at now, Gemini. We're going to have a look at what you're focusing on, difficult influences. I'm going to pull a card that's just with the intention of this makes sense. And I'm going to pull cards for your unexpected influences and insights, as well as the general overall outcome. The general overall outcome card is directed at the timing for kind of where you're going to be at come the end of the month. The very first card that I'm going to pull is going to be, where are the Geminis now? Where's your energy now? Okay. I do work with a number of different decks. I find that it's just a little bit more effective, and it tends to resonate with more people if I use more decks. And lastly, I leave all of the cards face down until I'm actually ready to turn them over and read them. And that way it gives an opportunity for my intuition and my psychic energies and juices to flow a little bit more. Okay. All right. So Gemini, let's have a look at where you are at now. I got called towards the sacred travelers. Couple of things, my camera has been still acting up. So if it does, I do apologize. Yeah. Oh, and I have a very small table in front of me. So cards have a tendency to fly onto the floor. So you may see me disappear more than once. Now watch this with your particular reading. Now that I've said that, that won't happen. Okay, that's the first card to come out, and we do have 2 more with regards to where you are at. Let's have a look at what you are focusing on, Gemini. What are the Geminis focusing on? Let's just give these cards a little mix first. Okay, we've got one card that has decided to jump out. Let's see. What is the focus for Gemini? Oh, Gemini. Mid to late March. Put that card off. Didn't want to go back in. Is there anything else for Gemini? No, we do have a card here that flipped right over, but it stayed in the deck. So we'll read it as well. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Okay, interesting. Difficult influences for Gemini, late March. I'm not sure how much my microphone is actually picking up. I am in a very noisy neighborhood right now. Dogs barking, loud motorcycles. So you may hear some background noise. Okay, well, let's turn the deck. Difficult influences for Gemini, late March. Maybe you don't have any difficult influences. Nope, there we go. Wouldn't it be nice if we did a reading sometime and there was no difficult influences? Okay, let's have a look at This Makes Sense. All of the cards were cleansed and cleared before I started this reading, Gemini, so they are ready to read your energy. Nope. There's no card. This makes sense. And another card. And another card. Anything else for Gemini? Yep. Another one. And another one. Oh my goodness. Gemini, you have a lot of stuff that's making sense. So let me just flip all of these cards over so that they are face down on my table. Let's have a look at your unexpected insights. What's coming in? Unexpected insights. Let's go over to the fairy deck. Unexpected insights and influences. That one went on the floor. Okay. Okay, and let's have a look at your general overall outcome. Where are you going to be at? What things are you going to be looking at and concentrating on come the end of March, moving into April? And again, this is for Gemini. Anyone who has a lot of Gemini in their chart. Whoa, holy cow. Okay, this reading could go a little bit longer than what some of the others go, but okay. Where are you at now, Gemini? We do have 3 cards that came out for where you're at now. Right now, you are ascending the mountain, moving forward. This card is telling me, Gemini, that things haven't been all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns for you, that there has been this necessity for you to actually feel like you're working. You know the saying, Gemini, that if you find a job that you absolutely love, it's like you're not actually working. And what's coming up for me, Gemini, is that you really feel like you're working and that you need to work. Okay, so it feels like you're having to kind of slodge along. Is that a word? You know, yeah, you're trying to climb the mountain. Yeah, wandering path is the second card for where you're at now. These 2 cards are indicating that you're feeling a little bit lost, that you're having to kind of, put a lot more effort into everyday life than you normally would. And, the wandering path is asking you to enjoy the journey, but intuitively, what this is telling me is that you're actually kind of wandering, feeling a little bit lost right now. And this card, I'm going to say this card is more a card of advice following these 2 cards, because I do read the cards in the order in which they came out. And this card is a card of stepping into your own power and realizing how strong and powerful you really are. Sorry, I do have a cold. I was at a conference last week. Somebody showed up who was sick, and whatever they had spread like wildfire. And I was lucky enough to catch him. Anyway, stepping into your own power. So Gemini, what this is telling me is that, you're slogging away. You're not really in that place of feeling like life is flowing for you. You are kind of wandering on a path, right? You're not finding your ground. You're not grounded right now. I'm making up words here. I'm stumbling over my words. This is an indication that I'm tapping into these energies that you're feeling like this is work and you're wandering and you're kind of lost. And yet, you are also, on the other hand, realizing how powerful you are and that you can step into this power of being able to heal yourself, this power of being able to change your circumstances. Okay, let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Oh, interesting. Okay, this explains a lot. You have, okay, the order that the cards came out, you have a 5, a 6, and a 5. You have the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles that have come out, and you have the 6 of Pentacles that has come out here. So I'm going to start with the first 2 cards that came out. The first card that came out is the Comparison card, and the second card that came out is the Compromise card. Both of these cards have similar meanings, right? When we compare ourselves to others, we actually bring ourselves down. So there's a difference between compromise and just giving in to someone. The other thing is Gemini, the twins, and both of these cards are representations of opposites. Okay, we've got the twins represented on this card, and they're having to compromise in order to be able to get along as twins and moving forward in their lives. And here we also have 2 trees, also representative more of fraternal twins rather than identical twins, but again, they're comparing themselves to each other. So part of the reason I think that you are feeling like you are ascending this mountain and wandering is because these cards came up as what you are focusing on. And if you're focusing on comparing yourself to others, what does that do? That brings you down because you are a magical person. You are a miracle in and of yourself. You have so much power and energy within yourself, and yet you're comparing yourself to others. Okay. Same thing with the Compromise card. If you are compromising beyond the limits of what would be construed as compromise, okay, let me give you an example. Your dream for many, many years has been to go to Hawaii. You've saved for 20 years to go to Hawaii. And somebody comes along and says, let's go to Cancun instead. You're like, no, I've saved all this money. I want to go to Hawaii. And they say, no, let's go to Cancun. And you give in and you go to Cancun. It's nothing what you expected. It's not your dream. That's not compromise, Gemini. That's giving in. And what I'm picking up for you is that that's what you're doing. Okay. A compromise would be, I want pasta for dinner tonight. I don't know if I want pasta. Well, let's go to an Italian restaurant. Oh, does the Italian restaurant have something other than pasta on the menu? Yeah, of course they do. Okay, that's a compromise. But entirely changing your dreams for somebody else, that's not compromise. And that's what I'm picking up for you, Gemini, with these cards. Okay, and what is that causing? That's causing you to feel like an outsider in your own life. Okay. You're on the outside looking in. You're feeling like you're not being included. Well, you're not being included because you're not actually participating in your own life. You're too busy comparing yourself to others, and you're not compromising. You're just giving in. Okay. Unfortunately, Gemini, I think things are going to turn around for you, but right now, going into this mid to late March reading, I just feel like you're kind of stuck. Like a lot of stuff has happened and you're just in that place of just feeling stuck and kind of finding yourself again. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Yeah. Your difficult influences are the rose and the desert. Again, we have opposites here, right? The rose requires water and love and attention. The desert does not require those things. The desert is this big, vast, open, wide, dry space. Granted, it does still require our attention, but it doesn't have the water and so on and so forth. We kind of have different extremes here. So the desert card is about thirst. You are thirsting after something right now, Gemini. This is in your difficult influences. It makes sense that you are thirsting after something. And in all honesty, you're thirsting after this. You're thirsting after love. This is starting to get tied together. You're thirsting after love. There's a problem though. You have to love yourself first. And when you're in that place of comparing yourself to others, then you don't love yourself. Okay? When you are comparing yourself to others, you are either putting yourself down and saying, oh, I wish I could be more like him. Or you are coming from a place of ego, putting yourself up on a stand going, I'm better than that person. Look at that. Okay. Those two extremes are what comparison is all about. When you are doing that, you are absolutely focusing on being an outsider because either you're putting yourself down or you're putting yourself in that place of ego above somebody else, which puts you in the place of being an outsider. And guess what? In both of those situations, you are not loving yourself. And you're thirsting after love right now, Gemini, but you know what? Until you love yourself, you're going to continue to thirst for love. That's just how it goes. Let's have a look at, now there was quite a pile of cards that came out here for you. This makes sense. Okay. 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 Gemini, the first card that you have is the Lord. And this card is about taking charge with authority. Next one, warrior, be fearless and stand strong. Next one, the direction guardian, choose your own path. You have 3 cards here in your this makes sense that are all saying you need to take control. That are all saying you're sitting back and you know things can be different. But it's up to you to take that action. It's up to you to take the steps to change. That means stop comparing yourself to others. Stop compromising yourself. Okay? Both of those are huge lessons. And when you learn them, you will actually step into this power and this authority. You will step into the power of the Lord. You will take charge of your life. You will be fearless and stand strong. And you'll choose your path. Okay. The other 2 cards that came out here at the same time is the Shaman and the Eagle. And both of these cards are asking you to see things from a higher perspective. Both of these cards have the exact same meaning. The Shaman says trust in higher forces, and the Eagle is see things from a higher perspective. Okay. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, Gemini, and I'm just going to throw this out there that for many of you, there's been this shying away from participating in life recently. You've kind of been in a comfort zone. You're not fully participating in things. But because you've been caught up in seeing the negative, okay? I didn't want to go here, but I think I'm going to have to. Just kind of tapping in. Okay, Gemini, there is a lot of negative in the media right now. There's a lot of stuff coming out that's negative, especially with regards to what's happened in the last 3.5 years, especially with regards to what a certain portion of the population has in store for the vast majority of the population. Yes, I'm being cryptic here. I hope that many of you will understand this. And with all of this negativity coming down, Gemini, there's been this part of you that's just gone, I can't deal anymore. And then as you started to come out of this, you went, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm comparing myself to everybody else. Oh, I want people to like me and love me. I'm just going to compromise. Okay. When you can see things from a higher perspective, when you can get this higher perspective, you're going to have that powerful awakening and realization about how powerful you are. And this even goes back to the very first cards that I pulled for you, Gemini, that you are supposed to be stepping into your power right now. Okay? You are strong beyond measure. Well, let me see. You've got a warrior here. You've got a direction guardian. You've got the Lord. You've got a shaman showing up. If this doesn't tell you how powerful you really are, Gemini, I don't know what will. Let's have a look at your unexpected insights. Okay, unexpected insights. You have the Two of Spring, the Magician, and the Queen of Spring. I'm going to encourage you to just have a really quick peek at the, I believe it was Aries reading. The Aries also, incidentally, had both the Queen of Spring as well as the Two of Spring come up. I believe it was the Aries in their reading. So Two of Spring is an indication that you can have what you want. You can manifest what you want. It does take some hard work. And the Two of Spring, also known as the Two of Wands, is about a duality. Being a Gemini, imagine that, some duality coming into your reading. Yes, sarcasm intended there, but it's not really sarcasm when it comes to you guys in duality, is it? So you can have what you want, but you do have to work for it, Gemini. And everything I'm seeing here is indicating that you're kind of resting on your laurels right now. You're in a little bit of a slump, and that's not to say that it needs to continue. It just needs a little bit extra work on your part. Okay, so that's the Two of Spring coming up for you. You have the Queen of Spring coming up in your unexpected insights as well. Guess what her message is? Believe in yourself. Yeah, Gemini. The best way for you to move forward right now is to believe in yourself. People want to help you. People want you to be in balance. People want you to succeed, but you have to help yourself first. And the last card in your unexpected insights is the Magician. You can do anything. You are magical. You are powerful. That is the message of the Magician. Gemini, everything that you need in order to be able to grow from this kind of slump that you're in heading into mid-March is coming out roses. Oh, wait. Didn't you have a rose come up? That's right. You're kind of thirsting for some love. Well, you can have that love, but it takes a little bit of work. It's not going to come to you if you're resting on your laurels. Okay, let's have a look at your outcome. Okay, your outcome. We have, oh my goodness. Okay, we've got the Nine of Wands coming out. This is a card of exhaustion. It's understandable with all that you're going through right now, Gemini. It's understandable that you've got some exhaustion happening. Where's some of your exhaustion coming from? Well, it's coming from being stuck in a place of needing to control everything and being stuck in your mind. These are the cards for your outcome. But it gets better. Trust me. it gets better because your overall outcome, and this is in the order in which the cards came out for you, Gemini. So it's not like I mixed the cards up, okay? Because of all of this and because of all this heavy energy, and yet your unexpected insights is the Magician. Your unexpected insights are the 2 and the Queen of Wands, indicating there's really, really good stuff coming for you heading into the end of March. Beginning, the middle of March is going to be a little bit testy for you. But heading into the end of March, when you start to take action and realize that you have the power to change all of this, Gemini, you're probably going to have a thunderbolt moment or a tower moment where a whole bunch of stuff is there's going to be light bulbs going off. Although I don't think it's going to be light bulbs, it's going to be more like lightning bolts. And you're going to go, wow, I can change all of this. And what's the end coming is integration. And when you integrate the realization of how powerful and magical you really are, when you decide to take control of your life back, Gemini, it's going to be really, really beautiful. But the power is in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this resonated with you, and I invite you to join me again at the beginning of April for your next reading. Bye-bye.